Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Live With It. This is the show where the DTNS family of folks lives with a gadget, a service, some sort of product long enough to feel like we get a solid, honest feel about how it works or doesn't work for us. We talk about the good, the bad, and we share our thoughts with you. Joining me today is Dan Campos, host, writer, and producer of Noticias de Tecnología Express. Dan, welcome.
No se habla español in here. Sorry, yeah. Thank you very much for the invite.
I was so worried I was going to butcher that, even though my Spanish is not that terrible, but I'm still, you're very eloquent, and my Espanol is not very good.
Oh, it's great. Actually, we should do the rest of the show in here, but no, thanks again for the invitation. And sir, I wanted to share my thoughts about a microphone that I have been working with for more than a couple of years. There are two different brands that are the most popular. One is DJI. They also have a portable version. And the other one is Rode. Obviously, you have different versions like the Boya. That's another brand from China that is really, really popular because those are cheap. And when I say cheap, it's $30 or something like that. But the Wireless ME, the one that I will be focusing on right now, you can get the basic version for $120 right now. That's the price that you can find in Amazon, to put one example. And this microphone contains one receptor and one receiver and also one transmitter. They are like this box that you are seeing right now. This is the regular size. This was launched, I believe, that at the end of 2022. And it's still one of the best that you can get right now. Usually the battery lasts for about 7 hours, which is really good. Obviously, if you have this connected, for example, to your cell phone, in case that you want to record in there instead of using a camera, the battery life, the microphone will be receiving some charge from your phone or from your tablet. I use this a lot for video recording with my main camera. I have a Sony Alpha, and also with my cell phone, depending on the circumstances. Actually, we're going to add a small video clip that I share as a B-roll. And one of the advantages that, for example, this microphone has is that it's really good at catching the distance and still recording. You can go as far as 200 meters. And obviously, I am getting a little bit closer in this case to the camera. But the quality that it grabs is really, really good. Where the rest of the team can look at some on-site recording in the Librería Vasconcelos in Mexico City, which is a huge library, because I was testing the range that you have with that microphone, because you can detect the sound up to 100 meters or even about 200 meters if you have a clear field in there, if you don't have any walls. So that's one of the main reasons what I wanted to acquire first this microphone. And then I tested in a different situation, in a lot of different situations on the road and also on studio.
And I think a lot of folks who just aren't so familiar with audio setup say transmitter, receiver, what does that do? That allows you to set up your iPhone, in your case sometimes, somewhat far away from you and use your mic, and that audio gets recorded locally on the iPhone that then you could use later.
Exactly. And there are different versions. For example, I also have to be transparent because I want to be transparent. The Wireless ME version, this is the box where I got it. As I mentioned, it only has one receiver and one transmitter. Right now, there is a different version where you can actually get 2 transmitters, which will help you. You connect the receiver in your camera, in your phone, and you leave it let's say, 10 meters, or even, as I mentioned, even 100 meters away. And then you have the other 2 microphones for the different hosts, so they can be talking. And then one of the audio signals, you can decide in the configurations menu if you want to have one of the speakers in one side of the recording, in the right side, and the other one in the left side, or if you want to have both signals merge for the recording. So if you want more options, there are from the same brand and also from DJI, more options that are also more expensive. This one, as I mentioned, it's around $120. For twice as much, you can have you can have the Go-To version, which allows local recording, which means that if at any moment the transmission gets cut because you have interference, or maybe there are too many walls, or you went far away, the microphone that you are wearing will still be recording the audio. So that way you have a safeguard in there. They also have more, let's call it more options. You can actually see right now in this is one of the receivers. You only have the lights to indicate that this is on and that it's actually connected. to the device that is recording the audio. However, in the other ones, you can actually get audio level. So that's one of the advantages in case that you want something that it's more professional.
Got it. Okay. So going through our tech specs, you mentioned battery life is pretty good, up to 7 hours. I mean, if you're out and about, maybe you need more than 7 hours, but that's pretty good. How does this all connect when you get back home and start looking at stuff?
That's really easy. For example, the simplest is that if you have it connected on, for example, I'm going to do a live example, so probably this will crash because for the video people, they will see how I am checking here. I am connecting my receiver right now and not the transmitter because I have the transmitter connected to my computer for an example that we're going to check later today. And what I have in here is that in here you can have like the configurations that you will get for your phone, and everything will be recorded with the app that you are using. That's up for your recommendations. You can use the regular camera app that you have in your phone. And in here, once again, in the app, which is like an upside and also a downside in the same way, you can have like different settings for the audio level. So it can be, you can have an automatic gate assist, a dynamic, or you can turn this completely off. And the audio that will be recorded won't have like the smart feature, which if you are like in an environment with a lot of sound, I like the dynamic setting because it will adjust. So let's say that you are recording on the street and then a car passes by, it will automatically adjust and try to elevate the sound of your voice over the sound that you have in the background. So that's one of the great options. You don't have a lot of control, so you have to trust, in this case, the app that you have in here. So once again, it's a pro and a con at the same time.
Yeah. Now, Dan, I know you're recording this episode of Live With It from your home studio. I think it's your home studio. It's a studio, the one that I'm familiar with. But why did you decide to go with the Rode? You mentioned it's been out since 2022, so it's not brand new. But what are the best scenarios that you use it for day to day?
I use it like in 3 different scenarios. As I mentioned, I record a variety of shows for Churros y Palomitas, and of course for Noticias de Tecnología Express. And when I am on the road, usually I tend to record either with a tablet or with my cell phone when I'm doing video. With the tablet, I also have some different software for audio recording only. And in there, that's like my, let's say, like my traveling bag. So this is portable and has a good quality when you are recording on the street. And for example, right now, let's do a small test. Right now, you are hearing the sound through my microphone. This has condensation. It has some compressor. So the quality sounds like really good. However, I'm going to turn off this microphone and show you what is happening right now with the Rode version that I have right now under my vest. As you can see, you didn't realize that I was wearing this microphone at the beginning. So
no,
that's one of the other
totally didn't see it. Yeah,
exactly. Right now that I am like looking in here, so the light can actually check it. Let me just. It's in here. I'm not lying. I'm going to put it in here.
And that's just a magnet thing, so you can kind of hide it inside your vest.
Exactly. And one note is that I acquired the magnet after the microphone, so it's not included. You can get different accessories for that. So I have to make that point because it's like, let's say $30, something like that. So it's not included. Right now, I'm going to switch the audio, Sarah, and let me know. This will be the raw audio from the microphone. It's not going to be processed, and you will be hearing that in 3, 2, 1. And here, you should notice a difference with the audio. This is just the raw audio from this microphone, but this is the quality that you can get when you're recording with this on the street, or in this case, on my studio.
I mean, I'm impressed. It's definitely different. We can hear the difference. But I mean, this is just you kind of, being like, let me clip it inside the vest, give you a little audio check. That, yeah. I mean, if you were, again, out and about, busy street, whatever, that does not sound bad.
Exactly. And for example, some of the other things, obviously it depends about how much do you want to invest. I mentioned that this microphone, I actually have bought it like 2.5 times. First, when it was released with the receiver and the transmitter. Then, for the co-host of one of the shows that I do, I acquired another set. So she had also another receiver and the transmitter, and we were able to sync her transmitter with my receiver. So at that time, we had like 2 microphones. Then, finally Rode actually allowed you to buy the individual transmitter. Then I acquired that one. So that's why I bought it 2.5 times. And this is the current setting that I have when I am usually recording. One thing that I want to mention is that if you have a Rodecaster, for example, and I know that Tom has a Rodecaster that he loves to use, you can actually connect this and you don't need like the receiver. You can buy the transmitter. And then if you have a home studio, you can get and connect those in there. So that also can be helpful in case that you have like a control setup where you need like different microphones and you don't want to have wires on the floor.
Now you did note that you have to trust the apps for recording. You set them up ahead of time, kind of hope for the best, see what it sounds like later. But it sounds like you've had pretty good results. Have there been any fails? Sometime where you went, I wish I would have done this differently with a different mic setup.
Yes, and obviously that depends of the time that you have for preparing this. So, for example, if you already have a lavalier microphone, like for example, this is an old Rode. This is also a Rode. So you can actually connect this on one of the microphones. So that way you can use it and maybe wear it on your belt. Because if you're wearing, I don't know, like a formal jacket or something like that, maybe you don't want to have like the black box that will be noticeable. Mm-hmm. So you can you can only use like the smart lavalier. But that also adds like a layer of complexity, because if the microphone, the audio, the jack is not properly connected, you will get noise on the receiver. And then if you don't have someone else actually monitoring the audio signal on the other end, that can be a problem. Also, one thing that I have to mention is that for the device, the receiver, you get a lot of connectors. So you even have like, you have the USB-C, you have a jack that is like for TRS connection or TRS connection, so that you can plug it within a regular camera in there. Mm-hmm. So the person who is going to be monitoring the video signal with a camera has to be paying attention in there, and then you don't have like an actual connection where you can plug your headphones in there. However, you can do a test and maybe you can connect this to a phone via USB, and then the connection that where you are supposed to be plugging the audio jack in there, you can actually connect there a headphone, a wired headphone in there, and then you can have like monitoring in there. That's not recommended by the company, but I have done that test just to have some audio monitoring while recording on a different site. So once again, not allowed, not recommended, but something that you can do to improve the monitoring capabilities of the device.
So if you're really pushing this and saying, all right, let's try it. Let's see how many inputs we can get into something that sounds good. How does stereo work? The left and the right channels.
They work great. So for example, when I am recording and I have had like up to 4 people, obviously you have to do some tricks, because we place one of the microphones in the center of the table between the 2 people who are speaking in one side and then in the other side. But that way, then I split the recording so that I can have from one of the microphones, all the sound for them will come in the right side, and the other one will come in on the left side. Then in post-production, I pretty much just do the leveling and then merge both so that they are in only one track. But this also allows me, like, this happened like, let's say 6 weeks ago when I was doing some recording. One of the microphones, it was actually receiving the audio in good quality, but it fell from the table. So in that moment where we needed to record the microphone and place it in there, you got a lot of noises. So I pretty much just cut it that side and then just duplicated the other one. And then somebody who was listening to the recording actually couldn't notice that the microphone fell at that specific time. So it was like you get some options in there to fix your errors.
I know not everyone who is watching or listening to this episode of Live With It is an audio producer, but I will tell you what Dan is describing is a lifesaver. If you need different options of audio that you can't get back later, that is extremely important to have as backups. All right. So Dan, as we're wrapping up this episode of Live With It, it sounds like you've had a really good experience with the RØDE Wireless ME. I know you mentioned a few minutes ago that there are other options for folks. Would you get this again, or would you upgrade?
It all depends of the cost. So, for example, right now, there are two options that are more portable. And when I say more portable, is that the size of the microphone, the pill, is actually half the size of the block that we have for this version.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
So
for
that would
example,
matter for some people.
Exactly. That's the thing. So, for example, if you care about sizing there is like the RØDE Wireless Micro, which right now they actually are having like an offer, and you can get those like for, I believe that less than $100. So it's a little bit cheaper. Battery life is shorter. So you have to keep that in mind. And then if you have an iPhone, actually, and if you only plan to record with a phone, that's a better option, because for the iPhones, they have an integration where the signal will be communicated via Bluetooth. So you don't even need to plug the receiver in there, and you will have two transmitters in a box that also has a charger. DJI has a similar option with the DJI Mic 2. The costs are quite similar, and this also depends of the quality on the sound recording, like the color, the tone of the voice. I really like the configurations from Rode, because I have worked with that brand like for a long time. My first microphone is like 10 years old. So I really like the kind of sound, but I also know that it doesn't work for all the voices that are in there. There are spectrums that maybe need more spark or something like that. Mm-hmm. So maybe that will be a reason to choose a different microphone. So depending on the price, I would recommend this because it's really versatile. But if you are only recording with your cell phone, there are like a couple options that are a little bit cheaper and more portable.
Well, Dan Campos, thank you so much for bringing the knowledge to Live With It today. I know you do a lot of stuff. You're a very busy man, so let folks know where they can keep up with your work.
Well, if you want to practice your Spanish, we have Noticias de Tecnología Express. Usually the shows appear with the most important news on the week every Saturday, so that you can listen, and please subscribe to that feed in there. And if you want to check something about cinema and the film industry, and even recommendations for what to watch on streaming, look for Churros y Palomitas, which you can also find a lot of content. And actually check in there, because most of the videos that we do in there are being recorded with this in different locations.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on here, and hope to have you on another Live With It episode again very soon. Look around your studio. Everyone on DTNS has been like, oh, I could do something about this, something that we've lived with long enough that we have strong feelings about. So this was perfect. All right, everybody, that is it for this episode of Live With It. Reminder, we can only do the show with your continued support. Thank you to everybody who supports us on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/DTNS to learn more to directly support us. Until next time, I'm Sarah Lane, and you've been watching Live With It.